Okay, question 56. Jamie ran 9.3 miles in 1.5 hours. How far can she run in a given amount of time if she runs at a constant rate? So we want to represent this as a graph. We want to find the constant of proportionality. And how can you find it on a graph? So remember, this constant of proportionality is just a big fancy word for unit rate. So let's see. So we want to graph this. So 9.3 miles in 1.5 hours. All right. So let's see. We're going to make ourselves a table. I'm going to do it down here. So we know this, that I can go 9.3. Let's see, what was my other thing? 9.3 miles in 1.5 hours. All right. And we know I can do that in 1.5. All right. So, was that 9.3? Yeah, it was 9.3. All right. So I know 9.3 in 1.5 hours. And I think I actually wrote these backwards. I should have put this on top. So actually, let's switch those around. So we've got 9.3 miles in 1.5 hours. Make sure that's right. 1.5 hours, 9.3 miles. Yep. All right. So I'm going to put M for miles, H for hours. So if I'm going to graph this, which what they want me to do, I need to make a table first so I can get to stuff. I guess the next thing that I would do is let's find out about 1 hour. All right, so how far can I go in 1 hour? So if I divide this by 1.5, that'll give me 1 hour. So I need to divide this by 1.5. So on my paper, I'm going to do 9.3. I'm going to divide this by 1.5. And when I do that, I get 6.2. So this becomes 6.2. Now let's see. So we need to graph this. So let's make a table. Let's do 2 hours. So if I'm going to do 2 hours, I can now multiply this by 2 to get 2 hours, multiply that by 2. When I multiply that by 2, I end up with 12.4. Let's see. I'm going to multiply this by 3. 1 times 3 is 3, so I got to multiply 6.2 by 3. 6.2 times 3 is 18.6. And I should have put this on here, down here, but I forgot. So also, I was like doing 0 if I'm going to graph something. So if I go 0 hours, I'm going to go 0 miles. All right, so now let's go through and we need to graph this. So here's my line. Here's my line. These are my x's. These are my y's. So where the constant multiplier is, that's always my x. And let's see here. So that's my x. This is my y. We need to label this as hours. Then we're going to label the y-axis as miles. And you would be making one of these on your notebook paper, or you should have already. All right, so let's see here. For my x-axis, I'm going to go every 4 lines to be a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this here is going to be 1 hour. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 2 hours. And the reason is it's breaking this up into 1.25, 1.5, 1.75. So my scale is going to be 0.25 on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3 hours. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 255. Yeah, that's right. So that's going to be 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So there I've got 7 hours. Let's see. What do I want to go by here? So we have 18.6. Boy, 5, 10, 15, 20. That's only going to get me there. I'm going to make every line worth 2. So my scale is going to be 2 on this. So that makes this 2, 4, 6. So this will be 10. 12, 14, 16, 18 makes this 20. Makes this here 30. It makes this line here 40. So every line is going to be worth 2 on my y-axis. All right, so let's plot some points. So let's see, 1.5 is 9.3. So if I go and I start putting in some dots, so 1.5 is right here, and I go up, and it's going to be 9.3. Well, that's 8. So 9.3 is going to be somewhere in that area. So 1 is going to be 6.2 miles. So 1 is going to be 2, 4, 6, and then just a smidge above that. 2 is 12.4. So 2 that's 12.4. Same thing, just a smidge above there. 3 is 18.6. So 12, 14, 16, 18.6. And 0, 0, which is right there. All right. So now I'm going to connect all these lines. And if I did this well, there we go. That actually looks pretty darn good. All right. So back to our question now. So we represent this as a graph, constant of proportionality. So when I go back to this is my constant of proportionality. 1 hour is a little bit over 6, so 6.2. I can always find it right here on my graph. It's when x is 1. That's my constant of proportionality. The next question is, how can you use a graph to determine if the relationship is proportional? So reminder, a graph is always proportional for 2 things. If it starts at 0, 0, which this one does, and is it a straight line? Definitely this one is. The good news is now I can find out how many miles for any number of hours. If I want to know about 6 hours, I can go to 6. I go straight up here on my line. I know it's a little bit above this. I go over, and this would be like 32, 34, just a little bit over 36 miles. So this graph will help me find the distance for any amount of hours. And remember, this is our constant of proportionality. All right, thank you. Why can I not stop this?